The distress beacon pierced through the void like a dying star's last gasp. Lyra Quinn adjusted her salvage rig sensors, frowning at the readout. The signature was Velkari, one of those pompous reptilian races that considered themselves the galaxy's apex predators. They never called for help, never admitted weakness. Probably a trap, Lyra muttered, but her fingers were already plotting an intercept course. Humans had a reputation in the Galactic Union, though not the one they'd hoped for when first contact happened 70 years ago. They weren't the strongest, fastest, or smartest species among the stars, but they were the ones who showed up when the distress calls went out. The ones too stubborn, too curious, or too stupid to ignore a cry for help. The Velkari vessel hung dead in space, listing toward the gravity well of a nearby gas giant. Its hull was breached in 3 places, atmosphere venting in crystalline plumes that caught the distant sun's light. Lyra's scanners showed no life signs in the main sections. The ship was already groaning its death rattle, metal bones creaking as gravitational forces began their inevitable pull. 20 minutes until it hits crush depth, her AI calculated cheerfully. I recommend immediate departure. Noted. Lyra sealed her exosuit and mag-locked onto the dying ship's hull. The interior was a catastrophe. Emergency lighting flickered across corridors filled with floating debris and frozen atmosphere. Lyra pushed through the wreckage, following the beacon signal deeper into the ship. The Velkari were particular about their vessels, designing them with the same aggressive elegance they brought to everything else. This one had been a beauty once, now it was a tomb. The beacon led her to a cargo hold that had somehow maintained pressure. The door resisted, then shrieked open on damaged servos. The smell hit her first, even through the suit's filters. Something organic, something wrong. Then she saw it. In the center of the hold, surrounded by shattered stasis pods and medical equipment, was a dragon. Not literally, of course. But that's what Lyra's earthborn hindbrain screamed. The creature was perhaps 3 meters long, covered in iridescent scales that shifted between deep purple and midnight blue. Its head was elegant, reptilian, with a crown of crystalline horns that caught the emergency lighting. Wings folded against its sides, membrane thin enough to see the delicate bone structure beneath. It was also dying. One wing was twisted at an unnatural angle, the membrane torn and hanging in ribbons. Its hind leg bent wrong, clearly broken in multiple places. Shallow breaths rattled in its chest, each one weaker than the last. Its eyes, those large, intelligent eyes, tracked Lyra's approach with something between hope and resignation. A hatchling. A baby. The Velkari had left a baby to die on a sinking ship. 15 minutes, her AI warned. Lyra knelt beside the creature, watching those eyes focus on her. There was intelligence there, clear and unmistakable. The hatchling, Sereth, according to the medical readouts she could access, made a sound halfway between a chirp and a whimper. I know, Lyra said softly. I know it hurts. She pulled up the medical logs, her anger growing with each line she read. Sereth had been born with genetic defects, unable to fly properly, too weak to hunt. In Velkari culture, weakness was intolerable. The strong survived. The flawed were culled. The ship had been attacked by raiders, and in the chaos of evacuation, the crew had made a choice. They'd taken their chance to eliminate the embarrassment quietly, leaving Sereth with just enough life support to die slowly rather than face the dishonor of direct execution. Bastards, Lyra hissed. 10 minutes. We need to leave now. Sereth was too large to fit through the airlock, too heavy for her to carry in 0G with all the debris, and far too fragile to survive the forces of a quick extraction. Every calculation said the same thing. Leave or die with the hatchling. Lyra looked at those intelligent eyes again, saw the understanding there. Sereth knew it was broken, knew it had been abandoned, knew the human had to choose. Not today, Lyra said. Her hands flew across her suit's controls. She rerouted power from life support to her cutting torch, sliced through a bulkhead to create a makeshift sled, wrapped Sereth in emergency blankets and secured the creature with magnetic clamps. Her AI was screaming warnings now, counting down in seconds rather than minutes. The ship groaned. Metal shrieked. The gravity well was winning. Lyra dragged her cargo through corridors that twisted and buckled around them. The hull breach she'd entered through was closing as the ship compressed. She switched the cutting torch to maximum. Didn't care that she was burning through oxygen reserves faster than safe. Carved a new exit point and kicked off into space with Sereth's sled maglocked to her suit. The Valkyrie ship crumpled behind them like paper in a fist, then streaked downward into the gas giant's crushing embrace. Lyra's small salvage rig caught them with automated arms, pulling both into the cargo bay. She collapsed against the wall, gasping, her suit's oxygen warning blaring. Sareth's eyes found hers again. The hatchling's breathing was steadier now, pain medication from Lyra's emergency supplies finally taking effect. "You're going to be okay," Lyra promised, already plotting a course to the nearest human medical station. Humans had a reputation for many things in the galaxy. Being the best doctors wasn't one of them, but being too stubborn to give up on a patient? That was very human indeed. The humans had another saying, one that had started making the rounds in Galactic Union medical facilities. "If you can't fix it, find a human. They'll figure something out or die trying." As her ship jumped to FTL, leaving the Valkyrie sector behind, Lyra stroked the crystalline horns of her new companion. Sareth made that chirping sound again, less pain this time. "More like gratitude." "Yeah," Lyra smiled. "Welcome to humanity, kid. We don't leave people behind. Even the ones everyone else had given up on. Especially those ones.